Hello, my name is Sonali and I welcome you to the latest episode of Around the World in 7 Days. Whether the Russia-Ukraine war has taught us anything else or not, it has certainly told the world that in the era of globalization, when countries cannot depend on one market for products, then certainly the global trade cannot depend on the currency of one particular country. This was further clarified by post-war moves such as excluding Russia from the SWIFT system and banning trade with it in dollars. In future, such steps can be taken against any other country as well, and by these steps, they can be forced to bow down by breaking the economic backbone of the rival country. This dependence is actually a threat to the sovereignty of any country. On the other hand, the collapse of Silicon Valley and the Swiss bank has also increased the danger that a country's reliance on a currency could bring back the Great Depression of the 1930s. This fear is haunting many countries of the world. This is the reason why there are talks of rapid de-dollarization in the world. India, China, and Russia are playing a key role in this, while Southeast Asia and Gulf countries, along with many Western and developed countries, have become allies in this. While India is challenging the authority of America by increasing the reach of UPI and RuPay to other countries, it is also promoting international trade in its currency. Russia and China are also taking similar steps through their payment settlement. China has convinced many countries to do business in yuan, while India has convinced many countries to do business in rupees. In this sequence, after the recent adoption of India's UPI by France and mutual trade in rupee and dirham by United Arab Emirates, the discussion on de-dollarization has started afresh. In today's episode, we will understand what is de-dollarization. Are India and China coming together to break the dominance of America, or they are becoming rivals? Is internationalization of Indian currency possible? We will try to answer other such questions in this episode. But first of all, let's understand the background. Russia was kicked out of the SWIFT system in March 2022 under pressure from the US and Europe after Russia declared war on Ukraine in February 2022. SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication Messaging System. It is a reliable messaging system for banks and other financial institutions around the world. It does not itself transact money but provides instructional messages for the same. As an alternative to this, in 2014, Russia developed SPFS. On the other hand, China has also developed CIPS, that is Cross-Border Interbank Payment System. Although the number of banks in these two is very less, but there is an option of trading with each other. At the same time, India has also started working hard to make India's digital payment system like Unified Payment Interface or UPI attractive among measures to enable seamless cross-border transactions. On the other hand, due to the continuous market fluctuations due to trade in dollar, the economies of many countries are also suffering. In developing countries like India, the effect of change in the rate of the Federal Bank of America is effectively visible, due to which even the country's own fiscal and monetary policies become ineffective. In such a situation, to reduce their dependence on the dollar, countries like India and China started internationalizing their currency in international trade. We know this decreasing dependence on dollar by the name of de-dollarization. Many other countries have joined India, Russia and China in this race of de-dollarization. Many multilateral organizations are also joining it. In this sequence, when Brazilian President Lula da Silva visited China in April 2023, he appealed to the BRICS countries to move away from the dollar. Following his visit, Brazil and Argentina began trading with China using the yuan instead of the dollar. Similarly, when Malaysian President Anwar Ibrahim visited China in April 2023, he proposed the idea of an Asian monetary fund to avoid the use of the dollar. Bangladesh is also joining the race to pay Russian company Rosatom in yuan for a nuclear power plant. In April 2023, the Global Times claimed that the yuan and ruble were used in 70% of China-Russia trade transactions. India is also paying Russia in yuan only. The effect of this was that despite the Western sanctions imposed on Russia, the economy of Russia was not negatively affected. By the way, India's rupee is also not far behind in this race. India has opened Vostro accounts in rupees with countries like Russia, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Botswana, Fiji, Germany, Guyana, Israel, Kenya, Mauritius, Myanmar, New Zealand, Oman, Seychelles, Tanzania, Uganda, United Kingdom. Recently, Bangladesh and United Arab Emirates have also agreed to trade with India in rupees, whereas Indian digital payment systems like UPI-RuPay are available in France, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Nepal, Bhutan, and other countries. India's talks with many countries are also going on. India seeks to promote the use of UPI for remittances. If seen, India wants to make it an alternative to SWIFT, where India could become economically sovereign without being affected by the decision of the Western countries. Today, UPI has left everyone behind in real-time transactions all over the world. Just as WhatsApp and email replaced traditional methods, India wants MasterCard to replace Visa domestically and UPI to replace SWIFT internationally. However, for this, India will have to expand its reach. India still has a long way to go in this regard. Talking about internationalization of Indian currency, in this race of de-dollarisation, India and China are reducing the influence of America on one hand, but on the other hand, they are also becoming rivals of each other. India lags far behind in this competition because at present India has only partial convertibility in the capital account. India cannot yet go into full capital account convertibility because India is not fully ready for it, nor can it take the risk. At the same time, according to RBI, India's share in global exports of goods in 2021 was only 2.4%. Due to this low share, the countries of the world would not like to hold the Indian rupee. India's GDP of $3 trillion is not even 3% of the world's GDP. At the same time, India has a trade deficit of more than $100 billion with countries like China. In such a situation, the chances of Indian rupee becoming an international currency anytime soon are less. Internationalization of currency means that a large number of countries use the Indian rupee to exchange goods not only from India but also from other places. This is possible only when there is maximum expansion of the Indian economy. India will have to make rapid efforts in this direction as well. So that's all in this discussion. See you in the next episode. But before leaving, let's note down a practice question based on today's coverage. To break the supremacy of dollar, are India and China moving closer to each other or away from each other? Comment.